Hello, welcome back. So in this third video, I'm going to talk about this this Python construct called the Elif clause. So this is actually a special clause that allows us to to create a if statement that checks multiple conditions, which in this case we are looking at more than two conditions. So let's look at the description of this. So the else if clause has such a syntax as you can see here. So previously, when we talk about if else statement, we have the if statement followed by the else statement, and we each of them has a clause. Here we have an else clause and also have an if clause. So previously, we are only interested in checking one condition, and if the condition is true, we will execute it under the if statement. If the condition is false, we will execute it in a separate else statement that you can see here. But what if you want to check more than one conditions? So the else if clause allows you to do that. So you can see from here, I have one example where I only add just one additional condition. And here, this is the else if clause, and it spells as ELIF. That's the keyword that is used in Python. And that is followed by a condition, which is the second condition in this case. And there's also a colon that comes after it. So under this condition, if it is true, then there is a different block of statements that is to be executed. So you can see now we have three different blocks of statement. Each will be executed under a different condition. Now, in the situation where you have more than two conditions, then the else statement really means that none of the conditions mentioned before is true. So you will only execute this third block of statements when when the condition 1 and also the condition 2 is not true. When both of this is not true, then else block will be executed. So if you look at the description here, it says that ELIF really means else if. That's just a short form that the Python introduces. So it allows you to add one additional condition to the if else statement, right? So how many else ifs clause can you have? Thankfully, there is no limit, right? There's no limit imposed on the number of else if clause. So theoretically, you can add as many else if as you want, right? So and the Python languages actually allows that. And if there is an else clause, it has to be at the end. So what this means is that in the situation where you do have an else clause, and else clause means that when you actually when you do reach this part of the code, it means that none of the conditions that has been checked before this are true. So therefore, for that reason, the else clause must be at the end. You can't actually have the else clause um, in between the if statement or the else if statement, right? So, but then this else clause is actually optional. You're not required to have an the else clause, and hence also the statements that comes with it. This is actually optional. So it is completely normal to find a if statement where you have the if keyword, the if statement block followed by the several multiples if statements and without any else statement. So it's actually possible to have something like this: if some condition, and then you do something here, and followed by if some other conditions, and then you do something here, and then you just keep having else if non-stop, and it is still fine even without the else. Okay, so that's what it means by the third description here. First of all, else is optional, and if it is there, it has to be at the end of this whole blocks of the big if else if else family of statements, right? So let's look at some examples. So here, this is actually the same flowchart that you have seen in the previous video, where here we have two conditions. The first condition checks whether x is equal to y. If it is true, then we want to show that x is equal to y. Otherwise, we check whether x is less than y. If it is true, then we will execute show less x is less than y. And if this condition is false again, we will show x is more than y. Now you can see the corresponding Python code when you use the else if clause is actually very different from the nested if statement that you see before. In this case, it looks much cleaner. So the if x equals to y, which corresponds to this diamond shape, then you will print x equals to y, and this corresponds to this statement over here. And else if the x is less than y, then this corresponds to this condition over here. And if this is true, then you want to print x is less than y. Otherwise, if that's not true, then this means that none of the above conditions are true. So this not the x is not equals to y, and the x is also not less than y, and hence you come to this condition, this statement, and that is executed via the else clause. Okay, right. So let us do one example on this else if clause with a program, so we can see this flash clearly, right? So here's the demo that I'm going to show you, and we're going to do this together, and that is first of all, we're going to create a file called marks to grade.py, and the job here is to write a program that accepts a student's mark and outputs the grade according to this table. So here we have a table that shows the range of marks and its corresponding grade. So if a mark is from 80 to 100, that is considered an A. If it is 60 to 80, and notice here this is exclusive of 80, right? Because 80 is part of is part of grade A. So when the marks is between 60 to less than 80, then that is B. In the case of 50 to less than 60, that is C. Otherwise, everything else, it's uh, it's is from 0 to less than 50, then it's going to be fail, right? F. So here are the sample runs that shows you what to be expected from this program. So here we're going to have a prompt that asks for the marks, and this red color number is actually an input that the user enters. And once you enter this input, because this is a negative value, so it's actually invalid marks. So that will be shown by the program. And of course, anything that is more than 100, as you can see here, this is the user input 100.1, and therefore that's also invalid marks. For the valid cases, you can see them starting from this window. So when you enter 80, 80 is actually A. When it's 79.9, that's actually B. And when it is 50, then it should be C. And when it's 49.9, that's F. So here we just show some examples that are valid. And we're going to write a program for this. And hopefully you can see how this is done. So I'm going to show this to you guys in a separate video so that you can digest it easily. So that's all for now. I will see you in the next video.